Hello guys, so we're going to do solving one-step equations today. The first thing that we have to do to solve a one-step equation would be to isolate the variable. How do I isolate the variable? By doing the inverse operations on both sides. To be able to do the inverse operation, we have to identify the operation that's happening. So what is an inverse operation? An inverse operation means the opposite. We're going to do the opposite operation to the equation. Alright, let's figure out what opposite operations are. If you have addition, your opposite or inverse operation is subtraction. The inverse operation of subtraction is addition. Multiplication, inverse is division, and division, the inverse is multiplication. Alright, so now that we have figured these steps out, the inverse operations, let's jump into an example. I have 3 plus x equal to 15. What is the operation here? If you said addition, you're correct. So I have an addition problem here. I have to do the inverse, which is subtraction. Now what should I subtract? My main goal is to isolate the variable. To isolate the variable, I have to leave the variable, which is x, on this side. So to do that, I have to get rid of this 3. Now that's where my inverse operation steps in. I have to subtract a 3, and this is the important part, on both sides, which means on both sides of the equation. Subtract 3 from both sides of the equation. This 3 subtract 3 is 0. I'm not going to write that, because if I write 0 plus x, anything plus a 0 is going to be the same amount, so x. So I don't want to write that extra step. So I would just write x on this side. We isolated the variable. Equals to 15 minus 3 is 12. 12. Now I have a value for my x. Alright. So according to this solution, x is equal to 12. I can't stop here because I have to know if this value that I chose for x is correct. So I have to do a check. Let's do the check. This is how you do the check. You substitute the value in the original equation, which is 3 plus x is equal to 15. Notice how I wrote the whole equation. 3 is supposed to be there. Now x is equal to 12, so I'm going to substitute x with my 12 is equal to 15. Is this correct? 3 plus 12 is 15 on one side of the equation. 15 is just 15 on the other side of the equation. Now I have 15 is equal to 15. This is redundant, but we are comparing two sides to be equal. That's what an equation is. Both sides are equal, which means my value for x equals 12 checks out.